I think it's time for Call of Duty to face a really harsh reality. And the reality is, I've had a lot of people ask me my thoughts on Modern Warfare 4 and the beta that went on last weekend, and my thoughts don't matter. I can say anything in this video, and it doesn't matter. The harsh reality that Call of Duty has to face this year is they are fighting such an uphill battle when it comes to marketing. The internet has already wrote off your game. The vocal crowd when it comes to Call of Duty are shouting from the rooftops, and it is nothing but negativity. I very rarely see any sort of positivity coming from this space right now. The top comment, Call of could have been a patch. The Starbucks of gaming. I actually don't mind Starbucks, but another year, another $70 saved. I actually heard footsteps, guys. That's the last time you're going to hear them once they all get Ninja unlocked. Looks exactly the same as every other COD. COD is basically Madden. The TTK and slide in this game is outrageous. Could not be any less interested in this. The general sentiment this year is Call of Duty is fucking trash. And when you look at the Steam charts here, obviously the game peaked at 115,000. This is a beta. That's a good number. And then it subsequently just lost over half of its player base in one day. Now, that's not to say the game is dead or dying. I think a lot of people jumped into it and played it and went, yeah, it's Call of Duty. I know what I'm getting. Now, when the open beta begins at the end of the week here, I'm curious to see what these numbers are going to show. But I think the general sentiment around Call of Duty this year is that it doesn't matter. Fuck Call of Duty. The game is trash. And now, before we get into my actual thoughts on the game itself, a word from today's sponsor. I actually jumped into Stall Zone last year and I had a way better time with it than I expected. It takes that stalker style atmosphere, throws you into this massive persistent online world, and somehow mixes an MMO with an extraction shooter without constantly punishing you for playing it. This part of the video is sponsored by Stall Zone and Expo, the developers of the game. And the big thing that separates Stall Zone from most extraction shooters is that there are no wipes, there's no raid timers, and you're not always loading into isolated little matches. The zone is always there, filled with other players, mutants, events, faction conflicts, and an actual player-driven economy. And when you die, you're not losing the gear that you spent hours building up. It's the loot that you found while you were out in the zone that's at risk. There's also more than 50 hours of story content, non-linear dialogue, and cinematic missions, and they're updating the game every 2 weeks. So if you like extraction shooters and you want something that feels like an actual world you can sink some serious time into, Stall Zone is free to play on PC. And right now, new players can grab a welcome bonus with the Ranger outfit, the Colt Walker revolver, and some extra supplies to get you started. Use my link below, grab the code, and I'll see you in the zone. I did get a chance to play for a few hours this weekend, and I have a lot of people asking me my opinion on it, and it's because I think they really just want me to shit on the game. What I can say is it's a little bit faster paced than I would like. There's a lot of sliding. There's a lot of movement that I think a lot of my community would not be into. It is nowhere near the fastest Call of Duty that I have played, coming from Black Ops 6 with the Omni movement. That shit was, in my opinion, felt a lot faster. This game feels to me like a blend of a Modern Warfare 2019 with a little bit of Modern Warfare 3, but a little bit more fluidity. Look at that drop shot right there. A little bit more fluidity in the movement than what we get from some of the more slower paced Call of Duties. I had a good time. I played for about 3.5 hours with the boys on the last day of the beta. I wanted to see what the game felt like, and I had fun. We played a lot of search and destroy. We played a lot of 3v3 gunfight. Some of the maps, not a big fan of. This map here, I actually really enjoy. Behind where this kill cam is, there's like a wall you can hop up on. The firefights that we have in this alleyway are really sick. But look, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I didn't like the game for social media clicks, because I think the trend here right now is to hate on Call of Duty. The hating on Call of Duty is what would actually get me more views at this point. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I never have. I always tell you exactly how I feel about it. I had a good time. I never played Black Ops 7, so I haven't actually touched a Call of Duty game in probably over a year now. So coming back to this, and especially coming back to a Modern Warfare title, I'm usually way more excited and enjoy Modern Warfare titles because it's just that's my shit. I love military shooters. But Call of Duty felt kind of good this year. I don't know. Like the sliding and the crazy shit that you see in some of the clips online are fucking insane. I'm sure once the game comes out, the skill-based matchmaking is going to ruin the fucking experience like it always does. I hate the conversation around skill-based matchmaking, and I hate the fact that Call of Duty put out some analytics and some data with a lot of out of context things online that has just sparked a huge debate in this community. I wish that there was a year where people enjoyed Call of Duty, but the problem that we have here, and this is the harsh reality of this game and this franchise, and that's the fact that you have created so many different styles of game. It's funny. Everybody says Call of Duty looks the same every year. If you actually played the games, you would know Modern Warfare games tend to be a little bit slower paced. They tend to be a little bit more unk status for the washed dads out there, right? And I won't lie, it's the style of Call of Duty that I actually enjoy. Out of all of the other styles, you have the Black Ops, which is a little bit more fast-paced. You have the Advanced Warfare crowd that love the wall jumping, you know, the Black Ops 4 with the crazy over-the-top movement. You've created so many different segmented communities that every year when you create a game that doesn't appeal to that crowd, they get the loudest. So when Black Ops 6 was coming out with Omni movement, when Black Ops 7 was coming out with the jumping, I wouldn't say like the wall jumping, the jetpacks, but the more intense movement, you have the unks and the dads bitching that they want a grounded Call of Duty, and this doesn't look like Call of Duty, what the fuck. Now you have the crowd that loves the faster pace movement, the quote unquote crackheady movement, and they're coming out the woodworks pissed off that this game is a little bit slower than what they would like. But then on the other hand, I think this game, because it has a little bit of the sliding, there is a little bit of skill expression in the movement. You have the young dads that are also pissed off because they're seeing clips online of you sliding around corners and jumping and hopping and skipping and the shit that you have been able to do in Call of Duty for so many fucking years. They don't want that either. So this game is weird. It's kind of bridging a gap between two different crowds, but neither of them are happy. And so I think the general consensus this year is that Call of Duty sucks. Call of Duty is fucking dog water. And if you like Call of Duty, you're either a paid shill, you're a COD fucking cocksucker, you're everything under the sun. I also think that Call of Duty is coming out at a time where the hatred for AAA corporations is at an all-time high. So all of these opinions are circling this melting pot. And the cool opinion to have this year is that Call of Duty is trash. I also think a lot of this is also stemming from the fact that we get a Call of Duty title every single fucking year. And so a lot of people are seeing it and they're saying there's no innovation because it is the Madden. It is the FIFA. It is the 2K of FPS. And I think a lot of people are fatigued and burnt out on the COD cycle. And so it's funny, if you were to sit here and ask me what I think of Modern Warfare 4 as a video game, I had a pretty good time. I'm actually excited to play some search and destroy at launch. I'm curious to see what's going on with DMZ. I think the game feels smooth. I think it looks really, really good. I think the animation quality is fucking top notch. Some of the maps I've played were kind of mediocre. Some of them were pretty good. I also really liked, and the one thing that I kept saying about this beta, so when you're playing, I pulled back here a little bit in my gameplay. When you're playing the kill block gunfight here, in between rounds is super fast. You were back in the game really, really quickly. I think I actually get shit on in this clip here. You guys are going to love this. I think, yeah, I fuck this guy up, and then I think I get shot from behind here. But I just want to give you guys an example of how fast, when the round is over, you're back into the next round. We get the score. We get the final kill cam. And wait a minute. Usually you have to wait. Usually there's countdowns, and we're back in. Wait a minute. We're back. There's a little bit of a black screen and we're back into the next round and we're fucking moving. Outside of a few specific hiccups, it seems like they fixed the spectator cam delay shit that was going on for years on end, to where you'd swap to one of your teammates and you'd just be looking at a loading bar forever, and then it would finally get to it, 15, 20 seconds later. They seemingly fixed that. They fixed the pacing of like moving between rounds and actually getting back into the game. It felt like a pretty polished game. But the thing is I can say all of these things and I can be happy with what I play, and none of it matters. And so I think when it comes to creating content on Call of Duty, I don't know if this is something I could even create content on. I don't think the space is open for guys like me to create content on it. I think the general consensus is fuck Call of Duty this year. And that's sad. I will say, like, I always believe in judging games off of what they are, how they run, how, you know, what they provide. And I just think for a lot of people, they don't provide shit this year. And that's unfortunate. So we can talk all day about Call of Duty, but I just think it's going to fall on deaf ears. If I told you guys it was fucking trash, I think a lot of you guys would be psyched. But that's not how I feel. And I'm not going to lie to you guys about it. I had fun playing Call of Duty. But if I had to ask myself whether or not I'm excited to create content or talk about it or even make this video, no, I'm not. As somebody who actually reads what you guys say and cares about your guys' opinions and gets involved in the conversations, it's going to be impossible this year to do that. The harsh reality of Call of Duty is it doesn't matter how much good they do, the internet is going to take this game down, no matter what. I'm curious to see the sales numbers. You know, I get caught up in the online discourse because A, that's my job. I'm constantly surrounded by it. I'm constantly plugged in and connected to the conversations. And I gotta say, dude, sometimes that's tough. The biggest issue that I've had, and it's not even really me, my fiance loves Call of Duty, wants to play this new beta, but she's running into this BIOS updating bullshit that's going on for their kernel level anti-cheat. It fucking sucks. We've updated the firmware of her BIOS. We flashed it to the latest. We engaged on TPM. We turned on secure boot and it still won't let her play. So that's a little unfortunate. I can't play with the people that I want to. So that's a little unfortunate. I had some of the boys in, but I want to play with her. I want her to play it because I know she'll like it too. And you just can't. So there's some problems. And I hope that they get this shit fixed before launch. But I got to say, like, as a Call of Duty game, I'm not upset. I'm not upset like the internet I know wants me to be. I'm just not. And it's one of those things where I know even me saying it, people automatically assume that I'm trying to sell you guys on a $70. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care if you buy it or not. I find the conversation around Call of Duty so vitriolic. And so, yeah, listen, I've had a lot of people ask me my opinions on it, and I know it's because they want me to fucking rip this game apart and destroy it. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm also waiting to kind of see what the data shows. Like, is the internet raging, but the game's gonna sell a fucking bajillion dollars worth anyway? Like, I don't know. But the harsh reality is it's incredibly tough to talk about Call of Duty in any sort of positive light. If you give it any sort of credit, you're just called everything under the sun. And so, you know, that's my thoughts on Call of Duty. It's in a weird space. I don't know how the developers rectify that situation. But truthfully, I don't think you can rectify. There's a lot of pissed off people, and it's only getting worse. And unfortunately, a lot of these devs are going to be facing the brunt of it. Leave a like on the video and subscribe for everything FPS related. As always, my name is Big Fry. I appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to the Fry Nation. And I'll see you on the next one.